So while it's nice and warm inside the shop, I figure my attention can come outside the shop and I can be cold, because that's what us crazy Canadians do. And I'm turning my attention to Suburban Commando. That's Gorilla, that's Commando. Why? Pure luck. Basically, this one here has the crotchety engine, and I did get it running a little bit better. Really, it needs a complete carb job by the looks of it, amongst other things. And as you can see, I was experimenting by using an electric impulse pump. This one came from a Honda motorcycle some time back, just one of those things that I never throw out. And it was running a lot better with that pump. So, I mean, between the carb and the fuel pump, yeah, it needs a little bit of fuel love. However, that being said, we're all about improvement here, and that inefficient, heavy as hell 16 horse boxer's going out, and the beautiful, more modern, more efficient, more powerful 18 horsepower and lighter weight Vanguard V blocks going in. So today, I don't know how much time I'm going to have, and I want to do some fooling around with pulleys and whatnot. So I might not get the vanny bolted in, but at least I can get it dropped into place to see what I got for space. That Onan is coming out. Decided to start by loosening off the engine mount bolts so that if I need to shift this thing around to get at other things easier, to make disconnecting, fuel lines and cables and whatnot easier, then I can do that. Now, since I'm not planning on reusing this pulley wheel, which is no good to me because it's a 1/8 shaft, and Vanguard's got a 1/8 shaft, there's no sense to me right now going through the trouble to, extract the pulley, yada yada yada. So all I did was I removed the adjustable tensioner pulley and just slipped the belt off, and we're just going to sneak in there and get the starter cable undone. Man, I am going through the 7 gates of hell trying to disconnect the regulator. I don't know if you can see down in there. Let me just get my phone out here and turn the light on and see if that helps. It's a little hard to position it anyways. You can just see those fins there. That's the regulator rectifier, and there's a little black connector there that the wires go into. And I think it's kind of corroded on there. I'm just beating and heaving, and yeah. It's always got to be something. Yeah, I'm rather afraid that if I heave on that thing too hard, I'm going to break one or more of the tabs on the regulator rectifier, thus rendering it useless. So I'm just going to cut the wires, and if I'm going to wind up reusing this engine on something or selling it or whatever, I'll solder them. Yeah, she's sitting on the oil drain. Alright, there you have it, folks. There's your size comparison. 16 horsepower opposed on the left, 18 horsepower V on the right. And the engine compartment. Alrighty then. So just for spits and giggles, we'll plop the vanny in and see what things look like for sizing and spacing and whatnot. Well, one of the first things I notice is I'm not going to have any gimmies when it comes to the bolt holes. So I'm going to have to drill new holes by the looks of it, because it doesn't look like the footprints anywhere near where it, what it would have been or should have been. If I were to reuse that pulley, which I probably won't, this is about where the engine would need to be aligned left to right. That's still open. I'm still playing with pulley ideas. That said, it looks like the engine's going to be a decent enough fit in there. And no interference with the hood closing. The only thing I might have to address by the looks of it is where my air intake is. I might have to do a little cutout for the snorkel if that's going to be more or less its final position. Everything else fits well. Be plenty of room for clearance for whatever exhaust I end up with, which could just end up for now being the muffler I had on Mule 2. So I'm going to leave the engine just kind of half-ass sitting in place for now. Like I said, there's a couple of things I want to rearrange and fiddle with the driveline a bit. I've got an idea in mind, so I'm not going to drill bolt holes right now or bother fiddling with the mounting until I get a little bit closer to sorting that out. I think for now I'll move on to something else. What do you think? Street machine? No, I'm just fooling. Okay, so I kind of expected this. Well, I definitely expected this. I've got some clearance issues with my 26-inch by 12 by 12 ITP Mud Lites. Just going to zoom in close to the fender here. Yeah, we're touching in a couple of spots on both sides. One of the larger problems, if I can get in here, see if you can see that, if the lighting will adjust for a second, but the bulge in the fender for the fuel tank is touching the tire with a bit more light. There, you can see it. And that's rubbing pretty good. I can't hardly turn the tire by hand. There's enough resistance in there. So I'm definitely going to have to do something. What it is I'm going to have to do remains to be seen. I can space the wheel outwards a little bit using some homegrown engineering and buy a little bit of space against that fuel tank bulge. But that doesn't address my fender clearance issue. On this side it doesn't look as tight, and it could be because this tire is a little more worn, or it could just be the way it's sitting right now. I would have to raise the fender up to buy more clearance, and I'd have to deal with perhaps moving this forward just a wee little bit, and of course that would widen that gap and, you know, create all kinds of havoc. But, you know, that's the name of the modification game, right? Whenever you modify anything, it's like a jigsaw puzzle. One piece immediately affects the next, and quite often, in order to, you know, get one piece into place, you have to move or rearrange the next couple of pieces, and then they in turn affect the next pieces downstream from there. So I'm going to leave this for now and put some thought into it while I put some thought into some other things. And well, anyways, this is it's doing something anyways. Doing something. Okay, so here we have a look at the original engine mount bolt hole pattern, and the footprint is really wide. Like I said, it's too wide for the Vanguard, but I did discover that the spacing back to front is correct, even though side to side is not. Now, in order for me to do what I want to do later, I'm going to have the engine significantly shifted off to the right hand side. That's going to be a while I engineer a few things. So for now, I just want to have this thing mounted, you know, centered, so I can use the original pulley system and just drive the damn thing sooner rather than later. So instead of drilling a series of bolt holes, first here and then over here and yada yada yada, because I'm not sure of my final position, all I'm going to do is I'm going to create some slots. And then that way I can loosen the bolts and slide the engine over as needed. So I'm just going to locate the slots. With a marker that doesn't want to mark. It's okay, I'll be able to see it. I'll hopefully be able to see it. It's not very good. Wow. Might be better off scribing them. Alright, that's good enough. I can see it. Okay, so there you go. We've got the mounting slots cut out. And we'll just throw the engine back in. Well, maybe not throw. Place, stick, drop, insert. Alright, well I got 2 out of 4 engine bolts in. Misplaced a couple. Or rather, should I say, I need longer ones than I did before. Most of the electrical system still isn't connected. But, let's see. Throttle is still not connected either, so idle it is. Okay, 2 flat front tires, rubbing rear tires. But Suburban Commando moves under its own power. You gotta like it. Got some adjustments to make, got a whole bunch of stuff to hook up. But there you have it, folks. Suburban Commando is running.